training like the elites. When we think training like the elites, we think heavy snatches, we think heavy squats, we think heavy clean and jerks. If you love the Chinese, you'll think that they do an absolute ton of bodybuilding. If you love the Italians, you love that they go heavy almost every session. And if you love the Bulgarians, you think about maxing out multiple times per day. Someone called this video clickbait, but as you get further into this video, you're gonna see more and more rewards on what we can actually learn from training like the elite. And the hint is, it's not what they're doing now. So we're gonna go through 3 sections, and section 1 is gonna be on mastery and how we attain mastery. Section 2 is gonna be on GPP. Section 3 is gonna be on earning your training. The beautiful thing about weightlifting is there is a process of attaining mastery. And if we want to get close to our potential, our mastery has to be at a very high level. Now, this isn't just snatch, clean and jerk. This is also what you do, how you pick the barbell up, how you lower to a hanging position, how you squat, not just squatting for the sake of squatting, but squatting with a purpose that actually carries over to your snatch and clean and jerk work. There's a really cool graph that shows potential, and then it shows a line leading up to mastery. And because Olympic lifting, especially the snatch and clean and jerk, takes a little while to learn, it can take you a while to actually reach what your potential is in the lifts. This means that you could back squat 200 kilos, but you might only be able to snatch 100 kilos for the first little while. And if you're someone that just goes heavy on a regular basis with no thought as to what you're doing or how you're doing it, you might find yourself spinning your wheels and being stuck in that position. So when we talk about mastery and we're talking about the snatch and the clean and jerks, am I lifting consistently? Am I lifting dynamically? And am I lifting in balance? These are things that have been drilled into me from a mentor, Justin Holly, and they are crucial if you want to get the most out of your lifts, especially if you're coming in already strong. This means that adding weight just for the sake of adding weight ain't gonna cut it. So when we think about mastery, we need to think about the intent and the purpose of what we're doing. So when we talk about GPP, one of my favorite questions to ask anybody that has ever lifted for a long period of time is what they did during their formative year. We have a lifter that trains out of my gym. I don't necessarily coach him. He's fantastic to watch. He grew up in Kazakhstan and has weightlifted since he was around 7 or 8 years old. The base of training that he did when he was very young was huge. He ran, he jumped, he did bodybuilding style training, he did general strength training, and he learned to Olympic lift. When I trained in China for a couple of weeks, listening to what those athletes did, some of them came from other sports. They'd done gymnastics, taekwondo, or karate. They'd done other sport that led them into their weightlifting. And keep in mind, they'd done those sports before they did weightlifting. And some of these kids were 14, 15 years old and already lifted for 6 or 7 years. So there are clues in what the best athletes do. If you look at Juliana, I'm pretty sure she was a track athlete. Rebecca Kohar played basketball. Developing a very general base is going to serve you in the long run. So when we're thinking about our GPP, we want to develop ourselves as an athlete. We want to develop our running skills, our jumping skills. We want to develop cardiovascular. We want to grow muscle. These are some of the biggest lessons that I think people often overlook when they're first getting into weightlifting. And I know people will hate me saying it, but some of the best lifters that have come into my gym, if they haven't come from, say, gymnastics or track and field, have come from CrossFit because they've been exposed to a wide variety of exercises over a number of years. So their system is built. Lastly, earn your stages. Throwing advanced training at a beginner does not make them advanced. Going through beginner style training into immediate style training into advanced style training is how you earn advanced style training. The tendons, the ligaments, everything needs to be built up, prepared for heavy lifting because weightlifting takes a toll on your body. If you just go straight into heavy sessions all the time, you're not going to recover. You'll see repetitive use injuries like shoulders, you'll see patella tendonitis, you'll see sore backs, you'll see all sorts of things that can be avoided. If we learn the skill of weightlifting, we start developing our mastery, not just in the lifts, but how we actually train and build a big base. So when you're looking at your training, I want you to ask yourself the question, am I training like the elites did in their first 5 years, or am I training like they're training now? If you enjoyed this video, I've got a video right here on what you can learn from Ilya.